I'll make sure I kind of stay like this, right?
Yeah, you're the prize, remember?
Okay.
That's kind of the big thing.
Okay.
I'm just asking the questions.
Sure.
And then there's no real script. There's no real,
Yeah.
Interview. It's not like MTV. It's not like,
I have been on MTV.
I don't know. I saw. I checked out your website. I checked out your LinkedIn. It was all very impressive.
Yeah.
I have got a few trends and topics that I want to get into.
Sure.
But for the people who will watch this, and hopefully the hundreds and thousands of people that will see it,
Yeah.
what don't they know about you to start from scratch? So, first of all, Q&A with Barbara Cox.
Yeah.
What don't we know about you? How did you start? All of that stuff from the beginning.
Yeah.
And just tell us your story.
Just tell a story.
Yeah, tell us.
Great. Okay. Where should I start? I'm going to start way back with the story how I got into nutrition.
Okay, great.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Right. So I was a Canadian champion skater for many years, and started skating when I was about 4, and competitively when I was about 10. And became and then became a Canadian champion, and pairs dance. So my career finished when I was 18 because I developed something called hypoglycemia, and that's when your blood sugar levels raise really quickly and crash.
Okay.
So I just didn't have the energy to train for the world team. So it ended, bang, quite abruptly, really, which was a real shame. And it was through nutrition. My mum was a pharmacist, her friend was a nutritionist, and so together we all worked really well, eating proper foods to get me well. And that's why I went on the road to nutrition.
And when was that?
I'm trying to think when my career finished, maybe 1982.
Okay, because that's important, because nutrition is still such a as someone who's worked in the fitness industry, I struggled with it.
Yeah.
It's still a struggle now, and to go into it at that time, that was, I don't know if I'm correct in saying it. Was it just bodybuilding then? It was really different. I mean, we were still in the school of thought that a Snickers bar a day is going to give you the energy to train for a world team, and of course, it's changed massively over the years since then, and so it's been an eye-opener, and I'm still learning now. I still learn every day. I kind of have this thought process of, it's called ABL, always be learning. So it's just a motto that I have. Because and is that what you like about it? Is that the nice thing about nutrition, is that you keep learning? You
do, because everyone's so different.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult to work with new clients without creating a bespoke program. So these off-the-shelf fad diets and all that kind of stuff.
Don't get me started.
It's just like, really?
Yeah.
How can that work? Because it doesn't.
They sell it well.
They do sell it well. The marketing around these things.
From Herbalife to Arbonne, they sell it incredibly well.
Do you know what? And one of my pet peeves is my customers getting duped by all of this. Which is why I sit on the Global Wellness Council, which I see a lot of things that come in. I write a lot of laws.
This is why we're doing this now,
laws.
because every day I scroll through Instagram, and I've got friends. I got duped by Herbalife as a young 18-year-old.
Interesting, yeah.
And I'll say it now on this, and it will go on YouTube. And I got duped because I think a big factor is, for a lot of it, it's the money factor.
Yeah.
It's the earn money quickly.
Yeah.
But also, you'll get this body of somebody that you don't know, but you don't get the body. Yeah. But you also don't get the money.
Exactly. Now it's really interesting because I've got my belief, without being an evangelical here.
Go.
I mean, when I started my company, NutriChef. Yeah. If you are providing food and creating something that a human being ingests that can change their biochemistry, the responsibility of the person creating it is massive. Huge. And if everybody were to take that same responsibility, it would cut half the products off of our shelves. Yeah. But they don't. And so it really does get my back up a little bit. That, you know, I'm seeing inferior products out there at a very extortionate price with a marketing message that is incorrect and full of claims. And I get really passionate about
the corporate side of it, where people don't want to answer that question, do they?
Exactly.
You know, so,
exactly.
And it's good work that we're doing this, because I hope that people do watch it, and you know, I know plenty of people that are following my Instagram and you know, watch my YouTube stuff that are on the Arbonne thing, you know, the Herbalife, all of that kind of thing.
Now look, multi-level marketing, I have a real mixed view of it, and I like it. I've been on both sides, which you may not know. I created something called Complete Balance, which was a vegan meal replacement shake, the first vegan meal replacement shake that actually got through to 27 EU countries, with a company called Nutritional. They asked me to formulate, create, train, and help get it out there. Now, unfortunately, Nutritional has pulled out of the EU, but still quite popular. So I've worked with the people who own these companies.
Yeah.
And there are some good ones.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because there's a huge, bigger scale than just what a lot of people do see.
Yeah, but again, there's a lot that sort of come and go and just don't have any substance to them. And yes, I agree. It is the compensation plan promising the money.
The smaller people at the lower level that are getting hurt than the big guys, I think.
Yeah. So, and how people jump. But anyway, we're digressing.
Yes,
back into my story. So,
but I like that. That was good. Back on topic.
Back on topic. So, I mean, I adore nutrition from a performance point of view.
Yes.
So that's how I initially got into nutrition, because I needed to get myself well, and then work with other sports people for them not to make the same mistakes that I did, as well as going into just general nutrition, but helping the average person achieve a wellness much higher than what they have. And that's really quite transformational for a lot of them, whether it's losing weight, whether it's a correction of one of the diseases of civilization, cancer, heart disease, mental health issues through proper diet. I mean, all of this can be achieved. They're just principles people need to follow. And that's what I love doing every single day. Yeah, still.
And I think you touched on it right there. I think the main reason, you know, I started in sales in the fitness industry, but the main reason I went and paid £3,000 to become a personal trainer was because of those values that you just touched on.
Yeah.
And then did 3 years of personal training myself, was because every single day it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just all of the, you know, muscles, all of the, you know, personal training programs, weight loss. Yes, those touch onto it, but it's a lifestyle. You know, everything that you just touched on there, wanting to change, they're changeable.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
And I used to see it all the time when I was working 80 hours in a gym. People used to come in and they used to go, I've got this really unrealistic thing, I can't, help me. And I'm like, okay, I can.
Yeah, I know. It's really great. And I think they get so sort of engrossed in their problem that they can't see a way out. But it is confusing out there in the market as well, where to go, what to choose.
There's so much chaos. There
is. You know, I gave a talk this week to 20 women, and you know, they're not encompassing a wellness strategy that's holistic.
No.
And I'll explain that. They're doing one thing. So if you need to, for example, if you need to lose weight, they think exercising more and cutting your calories is going to equal weight loss. I mean, permanent weight loss. And it's not. There are a lot of other things for things to make a permanent change in someone's life. And they've lost that resolve of finding the right answers and finding, you know, which bits create a permanent change in someone's life.
Do you think they're influenced as well by other noises? And when I say noises, I mean, you know what I mean by that. You know, it's not like...
Yes, of course.
People, social media, and I'm not happen on social media because
Yeah.
I love it, but
Yeah.
you know, and I think women are a huge target for that right now.
They are. They're always.
Massively.
Yeah.
More
But
than
people
men.
are also looking for quick fixes.
Quick fixes.
Instead of long-term permanent results to alleviate an issue that they have. So, you know, I love showing them the road to the alleviation of the issue. And don't come to me for quick fixes.
Yeah.
You know, I can give you one.
And it's the same, and I want to touch on this later because it's the same that I want to talk about the entrepreneurial side of things.
Yeah.
As a young entrepreneur myself, and as a successful one sitting across from me right now, the principle is the same.
Yeah.
In nutrition, and I talk about it myself. Creating a brand is no different from doing press-ups. You know, if you want to do press-ups, you have to do press-ups.
Yeah.
You know, so and it's
But
like
there's a
losing
formula to do press-ups.
Yeah.
A correct press-up. Do you think?
Yes.
Yes.
So you have to be taught that.
Yes.
And I think that's lost a little bit with entrepreneurship as well. You know, some people are thinking it's just the cool thing to do now.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that in a little bit later. So,
Okay.
But you know, so with nutrition, I think it's people are looking for the quick fix.
Yeah.
And I think I saw it all the time, and that's what scared me. And
Really?
I'll be hands up honest, that is one of the factors why I did go more to the online side of things.
Yeah.
Because I was spending every 80 hours in a gym as a personal trainer.
It's a long time.
And they were, well, you have to, because you have to sell yourself, don't you, as a personal trainer in the gym.
Yeah.
But they would much rather go home and watch a video on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I started making videos on YouTube.
Great. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I adapted, but they weren't interested.
Interesting.
I genuinely think personal trainers will die out.
Do you?
Yeah, there won't be a market for it.
Yeah.
They don't want it anymore. Unless you're like the perfect one, like the He-Man of personal trainers, they're not interested.
They're not interested anymore. Interesting. Yeah.
But everyone's getting qualified.
Yeah. Yeah.
So why?
Well, if they do it for personal reasons and
nutrition, there's far more market for that. And I used to say all the time when I worked in the gym is you could get the body you always wanted way more by just going to Asda.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. No, there is a big market for nutrition. There always has been, but it's whether companies take them on as.
Yeah.
You know, that's the other thing as well, and you know, start your own. You know, which is what.
Which is what you did.
Yeah, which is what I did. Yeah.
Do you do any advice to other outside companies like big companies like Fitness First, PW, and things like that?
So I created the Fitness First app, the nutrition app.
Oh really?
Yeah. That went through Europe as well as Indonesia. Okay. Fitness First is really big out there. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can actually do. I have big consultancy, Sky, Vodafone.
I noticed that, yeah.
Next, Lloyd's Banking Group. You know, there's and little ones as well.
Yeah.
Little companies, which I love working with, because that's where you really see the impact, and that's what I'm doing more of now, for sure. But I still top and tail my day with one-to-ones. You know, on Friday I have my nutritional coaching that I do. So people who need that motivation, that kind of straightening out week after week to keep them on track with a program I've created with them. We just jump on a call every Friday, so I block out my whole Friday mornings to do that.
Nice.
And that's really great because you can see how they're really taking or being accountable for their actions and doing something about it. So that's great. Yeah, I love that as well. I've got a beautiful blend of working one-to-one, which keeps you very grounded and about the issues that are actually out there. Yeah, and then within companies themselves is another
I think
another thing.
It's what I certainly one-to-one for me is I cannot find another way of working.
Yeah.
I was not created for an office. I was not created for the phones. I was not created for anything else but one-to-one, like you and I are now.
Yeah.
It just feels comfortable.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And you get results from it as well. I think this
100% results.
Modern day world,
Yeah.
you know, with how things are built, you can certainly get a lot more from just sitting down with someone or just, you know, at a coffee shop.
Yeah.
The clients that I've had so far have all been from like that. And
brilliant.
It's been far better.
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
And I think people are scared to do it. And I don't understand why.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to bite, you know.
Yeah.
But no, some are. But then I think you need to look at their motivation or their goals for why they really want to do it. And if their pain isn't bad enough sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's many different factors. I mean, I've dealt with people who you know, suffering from cancer. Yeah. Who are suffering from cancer and still won't change their diet or nutrition, even though they know. Yeah, even though they know it's going to, you know, make an improvement. So.
I have the same clients with personal training. You're always going to get someone who's really stubborn. You know, but you know, do you just stick with them, or do you just go, look, you know, at some point you have to just, you give the best advice you can, and then you leave them to yourself. You leave them to themselves. Because at the end of the day, that's your job.
Exactly. You point them in the right direction.
You're never going to change them, are you?
No.
Okay, so that's pretty much that wrapped up. I think we could sit here and talk all day about your nutritional aspect. A few trends and topics that I wanted to talk about, because obviously I've got somewhat such experience as an entrepreneur across from me, is a lot of the videos that I put on my YouTube are about entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And what it's like in this modern age and culture. And what I'm trying to do is change the concept of that and the stigma and redefine success. So I didn't go the normal route. I didn't graduate from school. I didn't go to uni. You know, I've worked, and you know, it was very much I was forced into entrepreneurship. Unlike a lot of the other people who were just tagging it on their Instagram and going, you know, I'm next to a Lamborghini. This is really cool. So you know that stigma.
I know that. Very well.
So I'm trying to change that and you know, redefine what success is. And for me, success is just happiness.
Yes.
And if you're happy doing something, you know, I'm happy doing this right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm happy doing my videos. I'm happy doing everything else. That's happy for me. But entrepreneurship, what is it to you? Well, because for a lot of people, it's a lot of different things right now, and I'm scared about where it's going.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to talk about.
Sure. And I think a lot of people start a business to make money.
Yeah.
And that's why they fail. Yes, you have to make money in a business. That's the reason why you're in business. Don't get me wrong with that at all. And there's no shame in making money from a business. But you must have values around a business that are part of your passion, giving back to the community. It's ethical in every single form.
It's who you are. Otherwise, you don't have a personality.
This business will be part of your DNA. So yes, that is absolute truth. That it must resonate with every cell in your body. You know, until it becomes an entity of its own, which mine did. It became that. But
it's just a longer process, isn't it?
It is. And it goes through so many stages as well.
I
know that bug. It goes through so many stages of, you know, you're kind of like, wow, I've got an idea.
Yeah.
You know, to how you fund the idea, to building a team and testing the product and making sure it's working, and then trying to juggle family life and all those kinds of things. I mean, from my conception of the idea to exit, over 12 years, I was not the same person from the moment I started to the day I sold the business, and then who you become afterwards. So, and I'm about, which you don't know, I'm about to launch something new in the next. You've heard it here first. Heard it here first.
Okay.
About to launch something new. So I'm again just in the midst of that, to do it quicker and faster. So it took me 12 years last time from start to selling my business.
Okay.
I want to do it in 6. And so I'm creating a company in a different way than I created my first one, but it's still going to be as impactful and as amazing.
Okay.
So there's a lot of interesting pathways you can take on your entrepreneurial journey, depending on what your real outcome wants to be, I guess, is my take on that. Yeah. And learning.
I couldn't agree more. I think it's exactly my mindset. I think it shocks me sometimes when I consume a lot of content.
Yeah.
Because I have to.
Yeah.
To stay in the know with other people. I never watch my own content, which is
really
because it's similar to a lot of other people do. So once I film and create it as a creator, it's done.
Yeah.
Published, it's done. I never rewatch it back.
Interesting.
So I consume a lot of other people's stuff, and what a lot of other people seem to be doing is they are looking for answers from other people about. And this is a very common question, so I'll phrase it how they say it. What's the fastest way? Or how do I do this? Or what would you recommend?
Yeah.
These kind of questions.
I get those questions all the time. Yeah.
And I'm listening to them and I'm going, I don't think I've ever asked that question once in my life.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I would never... I didn't go to uni, or I was forced. My first ever job when I moved to Bournemouth was door-to-door sales in Southampton.
Fantastic.
So I was like, I was 17 years old, and I was like forced into this. What is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't understand that mentality of asking for what's the easy way out. I don't think there is. Everyone's going to slay me on this. And
No, because, and I think you are hitting on something right, because it's actually not an easy journey. When you have a good business, it doesn't have to be easy, but it doesn't have to be complicated.
No.
Right? And I think this is where the messages are confused. I worked the hardest I ever worked in my whole life in those 12 years. And sometimes it's what you give up that creates the success.
Absolutely.
And so...
Key word.
Yeah. And so I gave up a lot. My youngest child was 3 when I started my business. So there was a lot of hours I gave up. There's a lot of bedtime stories I didn't read. There's many things. There's a lot of attitude changes I gave up. Yeah,
absolutely.
It is taking responsibility, giving up that blame culture when something isn't working, looking at yourself and being real every single day. But having that transparency, even with your team. Of listening to them and everyone working together. So the communication, and learn how to properly communicate with everyone around you to achieve the results. And that also means giving up a lot of stuff. Yeah. It means giving up being right. It means,
which isn't easy.
It's not easy.
No.
And when you don't know an answer, it's giving up that, do you know what? I don't know what you meant by that. Can you explain that again? Kind of culture.
And in this generation, which is my generation, that's not many people want to do that.
No, they don't. No. They don't. But if they're asking me for a fast way, what are you going to give up to achieve your results? Because the more you give up, the faster you will get there. And that's how I answer that question all the time.
Every time.
All the time. Yeah. And even now, just the sort of general day-to-day of starting up another big company, which I'm going to do, is the basis of that. The transparency, the openness with your shareholders, and the first thing I'm giving up is my shareholding, already. And that generosity as well that comes with it. And being really humble along the way, because what's the saying? You might know something like, always be nice to the people on the way up because you might meet them on the way down? Or is that reversed? Something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you really have to be like that. We are all equal. We're all connected. We all need to help each other at times. Business is a wave, and your health is a wave. Okay, so but business is also a wave. I mean, when we were going 4 years when we hit the recession back in 2008, I lost half my business within a week. And it was one of those big deciding moments of, wow, I really need to learn how to redo business again. And you know, duck and turn and be flexible and talk to people.
How did that affect you?
I had to make my first person redundant. I'd never done that. You know, and a lot of people say, oh, you know, you should separate business and you know, how you feel. Business is emotional.
No, business is business. Yeah.
Business
and it gets messy.
It does. And yes, you can, you know, one step back, but I still remember that moment. I still remember it. And you know, you can't avoid that. And I also think now, because communities are so different, and communities can be online, communities can be the immediate community we live in, but actually,
touch on later,
but actually the community in your business is massive as well. And so if you think of the emotional input you put into any community, you're also putting that into your business, and that must be an element that people also take care of.
I think that's what I was just about. You hit the nail on the head. You know, my father is basically my biggest influencer because he's you know, helped me with everything now, and you know, he's a financial advisor, and he helps me with all big decisions. But to him, business is still the old black and white, you know, business of the 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
You know, so when in reality, business has changed so much because business can be done on, you know, analytics on Facebook and YouTube, and you know, done from PJs on your bedroom.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that's the reality of
that
the world of business nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
It has changed massively.
Yeah.
But
I do sometimes work like that still.
Yeah.
You know, don't think I'm all suited and booted every single day.
That's the great thing about it.
Totally,
and I think
totally.
Embrace it. I think love it. I think everyone should do that.
Yeah.
But I think there is a vast gap between the people who are gradually shifting and going, look, okay, we need to take all of that and go, okay, do all of that, because even the people I've met sometimes who are friends, colleagues, and clients who have gone, okay, you're running a restaurant or something like that, you know, they aren't embracing the reality of the change of it, because they're going, they still think, oh, that's the old school business, when that's just social media, and they still think social media is social media. It's just for it's just for hobbies. When actually social media is it's kind of it's bigger than we expect now.
Yeah.
We've vastly underestimated how big the internet is.
Hugely. It's interesting you say that, because I got a pop-up on Facebook that actually, I think it was yesterday, I've been on Facebook 11 years.
Right.
And then I think, oh, where did those 11 years go?
Yeah.
But even when I look at my posts from 11 years ago and how different my posts are now, that's also changed. The genre has changed, the way we do stuff has changed, the engagement is changed, because I think it is
a completely different
exactly
thing. And you
exactly
wouldn't use it back when you first started. Now you use it more for business. And
I solely, well, not solely, I have my business page, I have my private page, I try to keep those separate, but I would say most of my social media is done for business. Yeah, and we have some private groups for the family, where we just share family stuff in those, and I like it. But even my parents in Canada, still, they're both 85, use Facebook to interact with their grandchildren.
And that's the thing.
It's amazing.
A lot of people on here, they always say you can't have a personal life on social media, and I was like, yes, you can. But you know, what I put out on YouTube and what I put out on my Instagram account and my LinkedIn and my Facebook, they're all business accounts. So I don't put anything personal on there.
Yeah.
I put the content that I put is business related.
Yeah.
So I'm very specific where I put.
Yeah.
You know, no one who follows me on there know where I live.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't know what my personal life is going on. They don't know what I ate for dinner, unless I choose to say it.
Yeah, exactly,
you know,
exactly. Yeah.
So you know, you can still be personal. You can
I
you
agree.
can have a private life. You can enjoy your day-to-day life and just go about your business.
Yeah.
You know, but it's all about choices.
It is all about choices.
How you choose to live, you know, socially.
Yes.
And social media is getting really bad stick right now. You've gone past that nirvana phase of 2003 plus, where everyone's gone like, oh, this is awesome, and now everyone's going slam.
Yeah.
So just, you know, really digging in on it, but that's what happens with everything.
It does.
It all goes around a circle.
It goes around in a circle. And I think you
happens with nutrition.
Yeah, of course it does. You know, with all the fads that are in there, and you know, sometimes people don't know what to eat, and then of course, with anything, right? Product recalls. How many times do product recalls happen? Look at the plastic bits in baby formula milk. You know, all those kinds of things. There's been some real big mistakes made with food and diets. So yeah, it's an interesting place to be.
I want to touch on nutrition again because I think. I mean, someone in your position is you know, you probably have too much power. But one of the reasons that I left my position at personal training was because I felt that not enough fitness instructors and personal trainers had enough knowledge on the nutrition side of things, and they weren't actually having consultations, sit down one-to-ones with their clients.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a huge area that's going amiss in the fitness industry right now, because you know, you can hire a personal trainer, and you can have an hour session with them. But as you said, and as we've touched on in this, you know, half an hour so far, you know, nutrition is, as I used to always say, 80% at least of it. You know, I weighed 100 kilos about this time last year.
Wow.
And now I'm about 89.
Wow.
So that was all nutrition.
All nutrition. Interesting.
All nutrition. Went to Australia and just absolutely, you know.
Yeah. It is interesting because, you know, I've created something called the Wheel of Wellness, and there's 10 different sections in the Wheel of Wellness, from fitness to health to wealth, to community, personal development, fun and recreation, environment, on and on. And in my fitness section, I actually refer people who are interested in fitness to a professional.
Yeah.
Because that is not my section, and I do not have a qualification in there, and I don't pretend to. Although I do.
That would be worse.
That would be worse.
People who pretend to.
Although I do fitness every single day.
Yeah.
From yoga to cycling to rebounding to walking. That's fitness, isn't it? So you'd think I would know a little bit about it, but I pretend not to and don't touch it. But that happens in nutrition because I think people also eat every single day.
Yeah.
So therefore, they feel they know about nutrition. Do you see? Can you see?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It happens everywhere.
It happens everywhere. So
fake it till you make it.
Yeah. And yeah, I hear some horrific advice from clients of mine saying, "Oh, well, you know, this person told me to do that, or I read this, or you know, I saw this in the newspaper the other day. What do you think?" You know, and I'm just like, really? Supplementation, I'm going to touch on, because supplementation is one of the worst.
Because it's the biggest, isn't it?
It is.
They see it and they go.
Yeah. Oh, this puts me into keto. You know, in 3 days. Do you think I should take it? And I should show you. I got a text from a client.
I mean, don't.
I will. I'll find it.
Well, we'll touch on the keto diet, because believe it or not, that is the thing that I did when I was in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for all you people out there who love it, it was done in probably the best environment though. But only because it was medically recommended for people who have epilepsy.
Yes,
So,
and so
and that's why I did it.
With my clients with brain tumors, it's really very, very good.
Yeah, that's the only reason I did it.
Yeah,
so.
and my daughter, who's 22, is autistic. Interestingly, autistic people need more glucose because their brains are wired differently. So
yeah,
I'd never put her on a ketogenic diet.
No, I would stay away from it. All of the other research,
exactly.
but I read up on it, and
yeah.
I went over there with my uncle, and his girlfriend is a doctor as well. She gave me all the research, and I was like, that's really fascinating. So
yeah. And so many people are on the spectrum. Okay, here it is. This was last Thursday. Hi, Barbara. Hope all is well with you. I wondered what you think of the Keto Pure Fat Melting Pill that's around. Yeah, is it any good, or do you think it's a scam? Look at me, sounds horrific. Wouldn't give it to my worst enemy. It's like, what do you want me to say? What, doesn't that sound horrific? Keto Pure Fat Melting Pill. Nothing about food.
Nothing about fat
but
melting
this is,
sounds good.
And then I thought, yeah, exactly. If you're going to melt fat, what else are you melting?
Your body needs fat.
I know. do you know what I mean? Where are people? Why are they getting duped into that? And that's why I said, I wouldn't feed it to my worst enemy, because it's just. Again, it's that people are looking for those fast fixes. They get the fast fixes from supplementation that claims to do all these types of things, like, what was that? Pure fat melting keto pill. And I'm just like, really? Where's the common sense gone around healthy eating, healthy lifestyle? And if you have an issue, supplementation does have a place, okay? But that's only to fill in the gaps or help correct something. It's not for that.
It doesn't have to be. When I was in Australia, I mean, she did a keto diet, but none of the supplement stuff really.
Yeah.
She did some of it, but because she was part of it. But the meals that we had every night was low carb, high protein.
Yeah.
And all of the vegetables and all of the meat and stuff was literally from the garden.
Great.
Outside in Australia. I mean, it couldn't get more organic and fresh than that.
Fabulous.
And I was like, I've never had any of this in my life before. I mean, I come from England and the weather in Australia, surfing every day. And that food freshly prepped, and I've got old photos of it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what did it for me.
Yeah.
The freshness, the organicness, the meat, all of it. I tried some of the supplements of the company out there because I was out there.
Yeah.
And I did think, right, of course, what is this I'm putting in there? But then, obviously, when you're young and you're trying new stuff, that stays in your mind for about 30 seconds. Because like everyone else, you just want that quick fix.
Yeah.
And I've been there before. I was there with Herbalife when I was 18, I was there with other stuff. But then, now I'm 26 now, I don't take anything else. I don't take other than fresh food that I put in my body every day. And I wouldn't consider anything else because I think, well, what is it?
Yeah, exactly. I do take supplements every day. So, but again, science-based. So once you hit 40, because I'm 53, so I'm going to be 53. And so once you hit 40, what happens is your coenzyme Q10 drops. So I take a coenzyme Q10. And I take an omega, high dose omega, because I don't think I get enough good fats in my diet. That's it.
But then that's replacing what you're not eating.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
that is the definition of supplement.
it is. Agreed.
That's what people aren't doing.
Agreed.
I think they don't understand what supplement means.
That's right. So if you're going to do it that way, then that's great. But otherwise, just to, I know some people who buy all these supplements, and then you see them on Facebook or wherever, and they're flipping eating down at McDonald's. And it's like, well, if you weren't eating McDonald's and eating proper food, you wouldn't need that. It's like, hasn't anyone joined up all the dots yet?
Believe me, I've had clients just like that. And I think when you're 18 and skinny, you can afford to do that because your metabolism is just like made out of jelly.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
But you know, and then you just even then, I think you know you can't afford to do that because it doesn't matter if your metabolism or your body is still skinny. You're still putting fat in your body. You're still putting shit in your body.
Yeah.
You know, there's still bad.
My whole ethos is a protect and correct philosophy.
You know, if I had kids, I would start from day one.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if it's early days or late days.
Yeah.
You are still putting bad food in your body.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the mentality, right?
Yeah.
And that should remain good.
It should remain good. It should remain good until those children get a mind of their own and do something else. But we use food within a family environment in a different way sometimes to keep them quiet. Just eat this, right?
Now you touch on something. That's a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Just like we use technology and just like we use everything else, because just to keep them
exactly. And so this mindless eating. Outside of schedules, no principles within their food groups that they're eating, eating whenever, for a longer amount of time. And so it plays havoc on the digestive system. And as we know, a lot of your immune system is in that digestive system as well.
Obesity.
And exactly.
It's, you look at America, you look at so many problems are because of the parenting problems that just go on to. That's why people worried about technology, because they're worried about, you're not looking at your kids, and that's what we were doing with food. Yeah. And now we're doing it with other things. Yeah. And everything goes back to parenting, like so many things. Sorry for the parents.
Sorry. I don't blame my parents for anything. They did an amazing job bringing me up. I'm sure we've all made mistakes, as I make mistakes as a parent, but I'm not one of those parent blamers. I don't blame anyone. I accept myself, maybe a bit hard on myself for mistakes. But sometimes it's due.
I think it's all we can do is observe what's happening. Yeah. I think it's not fair to judge anyone, because unless you're in their shoes. Yeah. I always say, unless you've walked a mile in someone's shoes. Totally. Then you can never judge.
Never judge. Never judge.
So, but yeah. All we can do is look what's happening around us. Yeah. And that's what I'm, doing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We're responsible for this. Everything we put in and whatever we say, we are ultimately responsible for that. But there's also a school of thought, I believe, that if you're open to learning how to improve something, it'd be really great to embrace that. But so many people don't want to. But I think on a good side of technology, that information is available for those who really want to seek what resonates with them within the social media world to improve their lifestyle.
It's amazing. Not to sound really arsehole-ish, but I will. But it's, you touched on it just there, the use of technology. To go back to former clients, and even clients I have now, just like with you and your one-to-ones, the principle that you go back to in the main basis. Sometimes I will literally just go, type it into Google. Yeah. Yeah. Your question that you just asked me, you can literally go home and just type it into Google. Yeah. How do I make this, or how do I add this onto LinkedIn, or how do I do? There's this thing called Google. Yeah, I know. It's amazing, and sometimes you might not even have to pay me. Yeah. You don't need me here. Yeah. I shouldn't tell you this. No, I know. But there's this amazing thing called Google, and but that's half the time why I give my advice for free, because it just helps others. Yeah. Because they don't know it. Yeah. No, that's great. And then whether it's nutrition, or whether it's losing weight, or whether it's, a diet, or whether it's anything. It's inspiration, recipes, everything. And it is really great. And people, and I love people to use technology for finding recipes, because I
have coined something called menu fatigue, because people do eat the same stuff over and over and over again, and so they're only, you know, or they
Massively.
only know how to cook those same things. And I'm like,
Yeah.
go on to Pinterest or go on to something and find some nice looking recipes to get you out of that habit, because there's just so much available, you know, like butternut squash soup or whatever, you know, go and see the different kinds, because there's not only one kind of butternut squash soup, they're different recipes. And I wish people would use it more for inspiration and taking them to a next level instead of
and to eat healthier as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's a good way to eat healthier, because you can eat healthier by doing all of that things. Because that's all I heard was that was the main reason that people were eating badly, is because they can't eat, they can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's too expensive, and they don't have the resources.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to cook.
No, that's right.
So they don't know what to cook.
Yeah.
They don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Or they don't know how
and
to do
they're becoming fussier because their taste buds have been dulled by ready meals and our fast food society.
And meal deal sandwiches and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So they just go, okay, this is there, I'll go take that home.
Do you know what I did last week? Which was really interesting, because I still love to do challenges within the house and mix it up a little bit at home as well. Okay, so I'm always looking for different things. Well, we went over the Purbex, and you know, sometimes people grow stuff in their garden and they sell it outside their home in a little honesty box. Well, we drove past a farm that sold pumpkins.
Okay.
Getting into pumpkin season, and so there was this massive pumpkin. Honestly, it was this big, 3 pounds.
Okay.
So I bought it. And I said to the family, I said, great, we're going to have a pumpkin challenge. We're going to do 5 dishes out of this one pumpkin. Yeah, you guys all get to choose them. And so we've chosen 5 recipes.
Pumpkin pie?
That is going to be one.
Yeah.
A vegan pumpkin pie. Or not a vegan pumpkin pie, the filling is going to be cooked, but I'm making like a vegan base.
Okay.
So a pumpkin pie. I'm going to do a coconut milk pumpkin chai latte ice cream.
Wow.
Yeah. I have no idea how that one's going to turn out. Okay, well, I'll let you know.
Okay.
We're going to do a pumpkin curry, pumpkin soup. What was the 5th one? Another one we found. And it was to do with the pumpkin seeds, because we're going to roast those as well and do, I think it was just maybe roasted pumpkin seeds with different flavors. And I thought, you know what, for 3 pounds, we've had engagement within the family of everyone finding something they'd like to do with the pumpkin that has, and they all went on the internet to search, by the way, which is great. So they're looking forward to doing this. We're going to cook it together, but they keep thinking of stuff. And if this goes well, I'm just going to keep doing that. It's like, okay, great, we're out. We're just going to buy a whole load of whatever next time. What can we do with this? And I just think that's a great little family challenge. You know, we've stopped having fun with food.
What you've touched on is inspiration and creativity, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think it's a nice point to end on, actually, because it's one of my last things that I want to talk about is creativity.
Yes.
Is is one of the things that is almost being lost.
It is.
I watched a video with somebody called Chase Jarvis. It's somebody that you should definitely go and check out.
I will.
But he has written a book called about creativity, and it touches on the fact that it's almost a muscle.
Yeah, I bet.
Creativity is almost a muscle.
Yeah.
And 100% it is.
Yeah.
And people aren't working it enough.
No, they're not.
You know, people are not. You know, everyone spends time in the gym working out their arms, right?
Yeah.
Working out everything else. But what about him?
Yeah.
What about
Interesting.
what about your mind?
Yeah.
You know, and I think for me, that's what I do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't think about it that way until I heard his take on it, because, you know, sometimes if you look at my desk, I've got post-it notes everywhere.
Yeah.
If I get an idea down before you came, just in the lounge, I was typing on a TV show that I'm writing.
Fantastic.
And that's just how my mind works.
Yeah.
So I have ideas all the time, and that's probably why I started this whole thing, because I was just a creative mind. But school wasn't built for me that way, because I was just too creative for it. I'm not a worker.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people out there who are like that.
Absolutely.
But they don't they don't work their brain enough for it.
Yeah.
And I think you should.
I
just
do as
like
well.
going to get the pumpkins and going, right, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, I think when you get ideas in the head all the time, some people just let them go.
They do, because they're scared to do it.
They are. Exactly.
They're scared of failure.
100%.
And you know, so I bought this pumpkin. I'm going to use this as the thing. I don't know if that ice cream's going to work, but who cares? We're going to have fun doing it. And if it fails, do you know what? Maybe I will think creatively on how I can do it and have it work the next time.
You've hit the nail on the head right there. Fear of judgment.
Yeah, very good. So, you know, it's super important that creativity, you know, and one of the things in business is fail fast. Yeah?
Well, I think...
Keep going, fail fast,
I mean, you've been doing this a lot longer than I have. I mean, not in a...
Steady.
Steady. But as a successful entrepreneur, you obviously have probably had, and I say this with respect, you've probably had a lot more losses than I have.
Yeah.
But they're yours.
Yeah.
So, and I think what a lot of people are doing now is they're not owning their losses. They're going, I don't want to accept it. You know, I'm hiding away from it.
Yeah.
You know, because they care what other people think.
Yeah.
You know, so whether it's their dad or their boss or whatever.
I've made some horrific entrepreneurial mistakes. Nothing's been fatal, thank goodness.
Well, you're here now.
Yeah, exactly. But even fatal for my business.
Yeah.
You know, but I've learned a lot. You know, we've made a lot of money, we've lost money. I've invested in other companies that have made money. I've invested in companies where I've lost money. It's learning and not being scared. And you
went, that's mine.
Yeah. It's annoying when it doesn't work, but it makes you more conscious and grateful and thankful for all the things that have worked as well. You know. And I'm very mindful of that, very much so. Makes you appreciate a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that was the last one. What would you have to say then, as a little final note? Because I think we've pretty much touched on everything, and I think that's coming up to an hour.
Wow.
I know.
Gosh, that went fast.
Well, that's the nice thing about when I do these things. You have someone there, and I'll edit this bit out, but you have someone across from you, and you talk a little bit about them, ask them about themselves, touch on get a few questions and topics in, and then before you know it, an hour's done.
Yeah, amazing.
You know, so it's amazing what content you can get from just, you know, and if I had a normal big camera on here, you could probably get hours and hours of stuff in, so. Wow. It's amazing what you can get, but we'll edit that bit out.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So for the people who hopefully do watch this,
yes, I hope you're watching.
Once it's published as well, if you give it a share as well,
definitely,
and let everyone know, what advice do you have as a successful entrepreneur for anyone who is looking to start a business, a brand, a team, a startup? And has any doubts or hesitations, what advice do you have for them?
Well, that's a pretty loaded question.
It's a loaded question.
It's a loaded question.
It's a hot topic, so.
It is. I would say be organized and be consistent. This is something you have passion for on a daily basis, and structure your time accordingly. Because time management is essential when you're in a startup position, and work on priority. It's difficult to do the difficult stuff first.
Yeah.
So we tend to do the easy stuff, tick, 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 that's all done. But actually, it's the difficult stuff that moves your business from stage 1 to stage 2, and could potentially bring in the business. You know, cash flow. Oh my gosh, there's just so many things. What do I say? It is managing your cash flow, because I think that's obviously going to break a business. And I hear of so many that are amazing ideas, and they get to a certain stage, they haven't managed their cash flow properly, and they can't trade because of it, and they lose their choices. So there's an awful lot to look at within that, but encompassing all of that is taking care of yourself.
Taking care of yourself.
And making sure that you're feeling great.
Yeah.
Because when you feel great, you can give and add value.
Absolutely.
That
100%.
that moves your business rapidly into a successful position. And it is all about adding extra value. I'm always adding extra value. Always, always, always. And wherever I can, I do it. And sometimes it costs me nothing. And sometimes it might cost me the postage of sending them a thank you card.
Yeah. Provide value.
Yeah. And do you know what? You have to love your customers.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, they're going to go somewhere else and your business is done. So you really need to take care of your customers and give them what I like to call a celebrity service. You know, so if a celebrity, and I've worked with lots of them, were to phone up, right? Would you actually, at this moment in time, treat them differently? The answer is probably yes. Because, you know, if your working hours, for example, are 9 to 5, and if Tom Cruise phoned me up and said, Barbara, I'd like to come to the office, but I'm only free at 9 o'clock at night, man, I'm going to be down there at 9 o'clock at night, right? And that's a celebrity service. So you need to be prepared to give that service to every single person you touch. And that's it. So I always think of that because, you know,
Tom Cruise called me up right now and told us I'm busy with a client right now, but he can wait.
He can wait. But it's using those analogies with every single client, having that celebrity sort of service and loving your clients.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who are going to give everyone a paycheck.
Absolutely.
And that's also important. You are in business to make money, but you're also in business to improve a community and give back in a way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's kind of in a roundabout way. How's that?
Job done.
Good.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone.